To those who saw it, only you truly understand the experience of totality. To those who missed it, I plead of you, do everything you can to see the next total solar eclipse. One of many things that make them so spectacular is how rare they come by. A total solar eclipse is visible from somewhere in the world every 1 to 2 years, but it's only seen from such a thin shadow and for such a short time that if you pick any given spot on Earth, it will only experience totality once every 400 years on average. 400 years. Wherever you may have stood, wherever you may be physically existing right now, that exact spot on the planet will never experience totality again for the rest of your life. You, and only those who were with you, are the last people who will ever stand in that exact place and experience a total solar eclipse in the remainder of your days on this Earth. That experience solely belongs to you.
You can see the aura around it. Oh, it looks so much more pretty in real life, but look at the horizon. It's all sunlit because, oh my god.
So if you want it again, you're gonna have to go eclipse chasing. One exact spot on Earth is a little too specific, so if we expand our range of acceptance for totality to, say, the rest of the country, we'll find they happen a lot more often than every 400 years, but still quite rarely. The United States is a massive country, but it occupies less than 2% of the Earth's surface area. The next total solar eclipse, visible within the 50 states, is on March 30th, 2033, all the way up in Alaska. It'll only be visible to less than 70,000 people, with the sun a measly 10 degrees above the horizon. Of course, the Arctic Circle is probably going to be covered in clouds, and most Americans likely forgot Alaska was even a state, so the next total solar eclipse in the continental US is on August 22nd, 2044. But we only catch the very end of it as the sun sets over the horizon of Montana during totality. The next one visible is coast to coast on August 12th, 2045, from California to Florida, with maximum totality lasting over 6 minutes. 21 years before the next eclipse then. That's a long time to wait. Unless, of course, we remember, as Americans, that contrary to popular belief, there are other countries in the world. The very next one arcs across the Arctic, over Greenland and ending in Spain. I would imagine Spain is going to be jam-packed, overflowing with people, and anywhere outside continental Europe would be clouded over, so that one's probably going to be a bust. Less than a year later, though, Spain gets another one shared with Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and Somalia. This one strides across the open sky desert of North Africa and the Middle East, and totality will again last over 6 minutes, so that's not one to miss. On July 22nd, 2028, Australia and New Zealand share an eclipse. And 2 years later, Australia gets a second shot after South Africa, with the majority of totality wasted overseas. November 14th, 2031 has an interesting and very rare one, a hybrid solar eclipse, where the moon is at the exact perfect distance from the Earth that the curvature of the Earth means on the edges of the shadow's path you'll see an annular eclipse, but in the center you'll see totality. It'll only last 1 minute, and unfortunately, that entire shadow path is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with literally only Panama lucky enough to catch a 16-second glimpse of annularity on the far edge. From there, we wrap around to Alaska, and if there's any eclipses beyond this, you can check out timeanddate.com, which lists every eclipse of all kinds for the next 100 years, down to the exact second they happen. So, will you wait for 2045, or perhaps take a trip to Africa or Australia? You better get that figured out, because before you die, you owe it to yourself to experience a total solar eclipse. always Illinois? Why is it always Illinois?